In today's presentation, you will learn why reference checks are important and how to conduct them for your new hires. The information contained here has been prepared by Civitas Strategies and is not intended to constitute legal, tax, or financial advice. The Civitas Strategies team has used reasonable efforts in collecting, preparing, and providing this information, but does not guarantee its accuracy, completeness, adequacy, or currency. The publication and distribution of this information are not intended to create, and receipt does not constitute, an attorney-client or any other advisory relationship. Reproduction of this information is expressly prohibited. Only non-commercial uses of this work are permitted. For today's conversations, we will explore the purpose of conducting reference checks and how it helps your business. We will also explore successful strategies in completing reference checks. Reference checks serve a legal purpose. If you fail to check references, even for someone you know well, your legal liabilities can be greatly increased since courts perceive that you didn't fully vet a candidate. Professional references can give you greater insight into how a candidate approaches their work, their attitude, reliability, lots of information to assist you in deciding if this person is the best fit for your business. Please keep in mind that reference checks are separate from the required background checks that must be conducted on childcare staff. For more information, view childcare background check requirements on the Wisconsin Department of Children and Families website. Reference checks give the employer an objective evaluation of the candidate and can determine how well the candidate has done in previous positions. When you interact with a candidate's reference, you can share some of the responsibilities of the position to be sure that this candidate meets the requirements of your position. You can collect information about past job performance to make an informed decision about whether the candidate is the right fit for your program. Reference checks can verify the information the potential candidate is provided, offer additional information on a candidate's skills, performance, knowledge, learn work history from a source other than the candidate, help the employer assess the candidate's potential for success in the position. Reference checks can also be an added source of protection for you and your business. If you chose to hire a candidate who later engaged in illegal activity during business hours that lead to legal proceedings against your business, showing that you fully vetted the candidate before hiring could protect your business from liability. If it was learned that you didn't fully vet the candidate by calling their references or previous places of employment before hiring, you could place yourself and your business in a vulnerable position. A common misconception is that since all childcare providers must complete background checks in order to work with children, that these background checks can serve in the place of a reference check. That's an inaccurate and risky practice. While background checks will search for important information about a candidate, a reference check will allow you to engage with people who actually know the candidate and can share insights into their temperament and disposition, their work habits, trustworthiness, and reliability. All important things to know before hiring someone for your business. After an interview, you will want to get the candidate's permission to conduct the reference check and ask them for a minimum of 3 references with contact information. This can be done by email as a follow-up after the interview process is complete. Once you have determined that you want to keep the process going with this candidate, you will want to determine if you want only professional references or if other categories, friend, teacher, relative, or coach, will be allowed. Once you receive contact information for each reference, there are several ways that you can attempt to speak with the individuals. Many people like to send an introduction email, offering to speak over the telephone, or send questions in writing. Remember, the reference is doing both you and the candidate a courtesy, so be respectful of their time. Talking over the phone with a candidate's reference can give you lots of insight into the person you are considering. Taking the time to conduct a phone reference can provide you with detailed, comprehensive information and is a more intensive screening for candidates. Call the reference and identify yourself by title and your organization and tell them the purpose of your call. Check to see if this is the best time for the reference to spend a few minutes talking with you about the candidate. If not, then make an appointment for a time that works better for you both. Write an email introducing yourself and your program to the candidate's reference. Share the questions you have about the candidate and state the date when you need their response. An email allows the candidate's reference to complete their response at their leisure and to seek out their company's approval, as some agencies have protocols regarding providing reference checks of current or former employees. You can also choose to use a form format when seeking reference checks. A system such as Google Forms can allow you to pre-assign questions to be completed, and then you can send a link to the form to the candidate's references. This method will allow you to ask the same question of each reference and collect all of the responses in one place. You can always follow up by phone call if you need more in-depth answers. Some sample questions you could ask. How long have you known the candidate? In what capacity do you know the candidate? What were some of the candidate's responsibilities? Assuming the reference is a former coworker or supervisor, please describe the candidate's overall job performance. What are some of the candidate's strengths? Where are some of the candidate's areas for growth? In your experience, how does the candidate respond to feedback? Tell the reference a little bit about the position, and then ask the reference how they see the candidate performing in this role. Is the candidate eligible for rehire with your organization? Is there anything else I should know about the candidate? Given the opportunity, would you hire the candidate again? You may have other things that you will want to know, or some of these questions may not be as relevant to your position. Spend some time thinking about what's most important for you to know about this candidate. A few final tips for conducting reference checks. Be clear in your purpose of calling or reaching out to the reference. Briefly describe what will be asked. Plan the questions carefully and ask them open-ended. Take detailed notes. Thank the reference for their voluntary time. For more information, visit the DECAL Thriving Childcare Business Academy website. If you have questions about the Academy, send them to the email address on the screen. And be sure to visit the Civitas Strategies YouTube channel for more valuable resources to support you and your business. The sessions presented in this series is built on our structured system of recruiting and hiring, called Lean Recruitments, which was conceptualized and built by Civitas Strategies, President and CEO, Gary Romano. Lean recruitment is specifically designed to support small businesses in this area, and over the last few months, we have been increasingly tailoring lean recruitment concepts and best practices for childcare providers. To give you a little bit of context, in our work nationwide, both in early education and childcare, and with other clients we work with, we bear witness to workforce challenges that small business face every day. Our goal in designing this series was to support childcare business owners in meeting workforce recruiting challenges that you have today. Learn why reference checks are important and how to conduct them for your new hires.